In today's fast-paced and competitive business world, companies need to innovate quickly while keeping risks low. Traditional product development often means long planning, big upfront costs, and building lots of features before getting real feedback from customers. This can lead to expensive failures if the product doesn't meet what the market wants. The idea of the minimum viable product, or MVP, was created to address this issue. Popularized by Eric Ries and the lean startup approach, an MVP is the simplest version of a product that lets a business test important assumptions, collect real customer feedback, and confirm demand with minimal spending. Instead of aiming for a perfect product right away, the goal is to learn fast and adjust based on real evidence. This approach helps businesses test the market quickly and avoid costly mistakes. An MVP is not just a rough sketch but a working product or service that offers the main value to customers while leaving out unnecessary features. The main purpose is to gain validated knowledge about customers, the market, and the product, rather than just making quick profits. Typically, an MVP focuses on testing at least one important assumption about the product or market to guide future development. To determine if a product will succeed, businesses need to know if customers actually want it, if they'll use it regularly, if they're willing to pay for it, and if the product really solves their problem. By focusing on a minimum viable product, or MVP, companies shift towards testing these questions through experimentation and real feedback instead of lengthy planning. This approach reduces financial risk by allowing businesses to test demand before investing heavily, avoid wasting money on features customers don't want, and fail quickly at a low cost if ideas don't work out. While startups especially benefit from this due to limited funds, larger companies are adopting it to innovate faster. MVPs also help get products to market more quickly, which is critical in fast-moving industries like tech, because being early can help build brand presence, secure advantages over competitors, and gather useful user feedback sooner. Most importantly, MVPs refocus development on actual customer behavior rather than internal guesses, ensuring that what gets built truly meets customer needs. Using MVPs helps create products that truly meet user needs, which leads to higher customer satisfaction and a better fit between the product and the market. They give clear, real-world data that guides important decisions like shifting to a new market, enhancing particular features, scaling up operations, or even dropping ideas that won't work. This makes your strategy flexible and responsive, rather than fixed. When developing an MVP, the first step is to clearly identify the customer problem by focusing on what users struggle with, rather than jumping straight to features. It means asking questions like what problem the product solves, who is most affected, and how these people currently handle it. Next, define the core value proposition, which is the single most important benefit your product offers. For instance, Uber's core value was getting a private ride quickly, and Dropbox's was easy file synchronization. The MVP should deliver this core value and exclude anything that doesn't directly support it. The next step is to build the simplest functional version of the product. This doesn't need to be technologically advanced. It could be something like a basic app or website, a landing page with a sign-up form, a manual service operating behind a digital interface, or even a limited product range. The key focus here is on making sure it works, not on making it look perfect. Once that's ready, the MVP is launched and tested in the real market with actual users. At this stage, businesses gather important data such as how much users engage with the product, how often they return, conversion rates, and whether they're willing to pay for it. This real-world behavior provides more valuable insight than just surveys or focus groups, since it shows what users actually do rather than what they say they might do. Based on this feedback, the product can then be improved step by step. The business might shift direction to a new idea, or the concept could be abandoned altogether if needed. This cycle repeats, allowing continuous learning and improvement over time. Dropbox showed how a simple explainer video could validate a concept by clearly presenting how cloud file sharing works, which led to a big surge in signups and proved that there was real demand before investing in building the full product. Airbnb's initial MVP was just a basic website where the founders offered air mattresses during a conference to see if people were open to staying in strangers' homes, which helped confirm the viability of their entire business model. Zappos tested the market for online shoe sales by posting photos of shoes from local stores and manually buying and shipping the shoes when orders came in, which avoided the risk of holding inventory up front. Even large companies like Google and Amazon use MVPs by launching beta versions of products to test features and market response, cutting risk and improving results before full launches. The MVP approach brings key benefits. It saves money by focusing on only the core features, It speeds up learning with feedback from real users, and it encourages innovation by allowing companies to experiment and adapt quickly. The MVP mindset encourages trying new ideas without the fear of failure, which helps foster innovative thinking. It focuses on customer-driven development, meaning that product changes are based on real evidence instead of assumptions, which improves the chances that the product will be accepted by the market. Another key benefit is flexibility. Using an MVP allows a business to change direction early on, avoiding large commitments before it's clear what works. However, there are some disadvantages to consider. If an MVP is too simple or lacks quality, it might harm the brand's reputation. Early feedback might not accurately represent the broader market, which can lead to incorrect conclusions. Some products, especially those in regulated or high-risk sectors, cannot be properly tested with just a minimal version. There's also the challenge of internal resistance, where stakeholders may find it hard to support an unfinished product, especially in more traditional organizations. Lastly, relying too much on MVPs could encourage short-term thinking, overlooking long-term goals. Overall, while MVPs offer advantages, it's important to be aware of these limitations when planning product development. Focusing too much on rapid testing without keeping a long-term strategic vision can be risky. The minimum viable product, or MVP, is a valuable approach that helps businesses quickly test ideas when there's a lot of uncertainty and limited resources. Instead of aiming for perfection right away, MVPs encourage learning from real customer feedback, which helps reduce financial risk and create products that better meet actual needs. It's important to remember that while MVPs have their limits, like how they can affect brand perception or oversimplify things, they're most effective when used thoughtfully as part of a bigger strategy. Successful companies treat MVPs as deliberate learning tools, not just shortcuts. In today's fast-moving environment, where adaptability and understanding customers are key, the MVP framework remains one of the most important tools for innovation and entrepreneurship.